Hello, everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Welcome back to another Tuesday tip video. Today, we're going to take on another technique. This one is kind of an oldie but a goodie, one we used to do years ago, but I've got a new twist on it. It's called the polished stone technique. I'm going to feature this technique on 9 different kinds of paper because each time it kind of comes out a little bit different. You use your favorite colors, but we've got 9 papers to focus on today. I am so excited to teach this to you. I think you're going to really like what you see, so we're going to head over to the stamping table and start learning the polished stone technique. Polished stone. Very different, very unique. It's a really cool idea. These are just a few of the cards that I created using the polished stone technique. But my friends, we are going to work with 8 different types of paper, and we're going to work on this technique. And I've got some tips to make it hopefully a little bit easier than maybe the ways you've done it in the past. Are you ready to learn? All right, let me get my supplies because there are a few things you're going to want to prep before you start working with this. The first thing you really do want to prep your surface. We don't want to get this ink everywhere. Do you know what this is? This is actually just some packaging from some specialty paper. Look, the chipboard's still behind it. But you know what? This is going to make a pretty great surface. I was looking around and I said, hey, that'll work. If you don't have anything like this, maybe you have like a silicone mat that you use for cooking. Of course, Stampin' Up! Has a silicone mat as well. It's a little bit smaller, and sometimes I like to work in a little bit bigger space, but either one of these would work. You pick whatever you need, but you do want to make sure you're going to protect your surface. You can also use some grid paper, but this grid paper is going to get wet. I kind of call this a commodity, so I don't use it for this technique. So how about I just use this big silicone mat underneath me? So I'm going to share with you the different papers we're going to feature today. All right, so we're going to be working with 9 different kinds of paper with this technique. Let me show you what we've got. We're going to work with basic white or vanilla. Very vanilla would work as well. Shimmery white, vellum. How about some specialty vellum? You're going to love what I do with that one. I have some pearlescent. I have some fine shimmer paper, the textured shimmered paper, the linen paper, and last, some specialty designer series paper. So if you've got some paper that has some foil in it, it's also going to be great. We are going to get busy. Supplies. All right. Hopefully these are all things that you have already laying around your house. The first thing we're going to need is some isopropyl. I hope I'm saying that right. Isopropyl alcohol. So this is like a medicinal rubbing alcohol, first aid, antiseptic. Mine is 91%, but guys, if you have, I think the other one is 70%, that's going to work fine too. This is just what I happen to have. We're going to need some cotton balls. We're going to need some clear blocks. If you have a rubber glove or a plastic glove, trust me, when I say you might get a little messy, you're going to be glad you have this, and just an old towel. The last thing you're going to need is either some ink refills or some ink pads. The old method where we used to always teach this, we used ink refills, but I recognize that not everyone has those. So today I'm going to teach you this technique using the ink pads. All right, I've got my glove on, and we're going to start with our piece of basic white. So I mentioned that there were 2 ways to do this technique. I'm going to start with the old-fashioned way because it's not a bad way. It's just a different way, right? So I have got an ink refill, and I'm going to take a cotton ball, and I'm going to saturate it in the rubbing alcohol. I'm going to put about 3 drops of my Melon Mambo refill on there. Now I'll come in with, I'm going to come in with some Blushing Bride. It's whatever colors you want to do. And you can do 3 or 4, but really 3 seems to be the magic number. Can you see how I just put some dots on there? Now what I'm going to do with this piece of basic white is I'm going to show you the old-fashioned method on one side and then my newer method on the other. And watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to start tapping. This is that look of polished stone. So this one does definitely give a much thicker look. And I'm just going to kind of keep tapping. Now, I feel like that's getting a little dark. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to tap off. And now I'm going to come back in and kind of smooth things out. I want to fill in as much of that white as I can. And that is the look of polished stone. And if you want to thin it out, this is a cotton ball with just alcohol and nothing else. And I can kind of pick up some of that ink. And there is the first technique. I'm going to clean my mess here. We have an old towel handy for a reason. Now I'm going to teach you the other method, and we're going to do that on the other side so we can compare, and you can pick the technique that you like the best. So I'm now going to take a clear block. I'm going to ink up that block on my ink pad. Yep, I'm going to create my own little ink pad because I don't want to get this alcohol in my actual ink pad. Here's my cotton ball soaked in the alcohol. In fact, can you see how I'm kind of making it a little sloppy there? And now I'm going to start with my lightest color, and I will add that light color right there. You know what? That is pretty light. I'm going to wipe this off, ink it up again. I think I want to get a little more of that pink to come out. So we'll add that. You can see this when you're using the refills, this is some pretty concentrated ink. And this method is a little bit lighter. All right, cleaning off my block. And now I'll come in with the Melon Mambo. So with that clean block, I can ink up. Woo, this is going to be bright. Now, I don't have to really do much more with this cotton ball. If it's gotten dry, I could add a little more to it. And I kind of overdid it there, didn't I? We'll pick up some of that. I'm going to tap some of that off because I know it's going to be nice and dark. And I'm using a very light method. Can you see? Look how very different those are. In fact, some of this Melon Mambo almost brings out some brown tones, doesn't it? So two very different looks, but these are both the polished stone technique. So if you want those really deeper colors, you can use your ink refills. But you know what? I kind of like some of these lighter colors, and I could do more colors on top of this. So I could come in now and maybe bring in, maybe a gorgeous grape so I can really get some nice deep colors. How about we try that? You want to know what I love about paper crafting is there's no right or wrong. And here's the thing. If this looks really awful, oh well, it's an eighth of a piece of cardstock. I'm just playing. So I'm kind of practicing here. And it gives me that opportunity to see what color combinations do I like? Which look do I like? So there we go. Polished stone with the ink refills, polished stone using the ink pads. Now let's get into what we can do with some of the different papers and the different looks that we're going to get. Shimmery white is a fabulous cardstock. It is just that. It is white. That is shimmery. I don't know if you can see it on camera there, but you know what? I have my gorgeous grape here, so let's go ahead and give that a try. Look, there's still some Melon Mambo on there and some Blushing Bride. That's all good with me because I'm just here to play today, my friends. So we're going to add that ink. Of course, I can pick up some more. Really light touch. Can you see? I'm just barely touching, move my wrist around so that, I don't start getting a lot of identical little blobs on there. Now, obviously, with this being alcohol, it does need a little bit of drying time, but rubbing alcohol is actually going to dry very, very quickly. And look at that incredible background. And I hope that you can see there's also a shimmer that is left behind. So I can let that dry and it's going to be perfect to use on the back of a card. Now we're going to work with some vellum cardstock. I want to bring in the card sample. And this is the card that I created. I did a really nice little kind of a sunset and beachy theme going on here with my lighthouse point. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. And it's really a lot of fun. So let's pretend this is a larger piece of our vellum cardstock. And I'm going to, once again, I'm going to I'm going to saturate my cotton ball. I'm going to work with my two lightest colors first. So I'm going to start with Mango Melody. You know the drill. We're going to ink up a clear block. I'm going to get some ink on there. Now for my sunset, I'm going to tap on this here up at the top. Oh, I just realized as I did this, with that black in the background, it's going to be very difficult to see. But not to worry, I'll show it to you when it's all done. So that got me some Mango Melody on there. Now we're going to come in with Crushed Curry. Again, I'll ink up some crushed curry. Same little cotton ball. I'm not really changing anything out yet. And I'll tap on a little bit of that darker yellow to make myself a pretty little sunset. I'm going to set those two aside in case I need to come back to them. And now some Tahitian Tide for the water. Saturate that cotton ball. Now we can get the bottom portion, the water, the ocean of our vellum. I love working with multiple colors. So now I'm going to bring in some Pacific Point. And I'm only going to ink this up a little bit because I know it's not going to take much at all because woohoo, yes, it's a big, deep, dark color. Of course, that alcohol kind of tones it down. Now, remember that tip that I had that you could always saturate a clean cotton ball? I'm going to squeeze kind of some of the excess out of there, and I can tone it down and blend if I need to. Look, do you see it kind of looks like the waves crashing? I'll flip that over, and I could get the top of this as well. Let me put that behind some white so you can see how pretty my little sunset is. And again, you can change up the colors. It looks like I probably put some Calypso coral in there as well. Get creative with those colors, but look what you could do on some amazing vellum cardstock. I'm going to take the vellum technique and I'm going to step it up a notch for you. So this is a piece of our specialty vellum. So this is what it looked like, okay? Can you see the little vine print on it? Yeah, well, I wasn't liking that I couldn't see it very well. So I did my polished stone technique here with 3 different colors of green. And now look, I've got a marbly technique going in here. I've got it brings up these 3 different tones. And now I've got a beautiful piece of vellum. I can use this as a background. I could die cut from this. I could do so many things with this finished piece. So vellum cardstock or the specialty vellum, you've got lots of options with this polished stone technique. Now you may be wondering, Connie, why do you still have these? Why haven't you thrown them away? Do you know I can let these dry and then I'll be able to continue to use these in the same color. All I need to do is re-wet them with some rubbing alcohol, come in with another block in my ink, and keep going. So you could just let these dry. It's not going to take long. It is rubbing alcohol, so it dries fairly quickly. So you even get to save these and upcycle them. My next paper is the pearlescent. And let me tell you what, this is a gorgeous paper. It comes 12 by 12. You can see I've cut it down. Looks like Connie should have put gloves on both hands, huh? I am going to, with my rubbing alcohol little cotton ball. And by the way, this is one that I'm reusing from before. And here's something I want to teach you. Once you get the ink on there and you go, ooh, I need a little bit more. You don't want to get this alcohol in your ink pad. I think every craft room has its old towel, right? Don't we all have one? Especially for things like this. So if I want to add more, I want to make sure that my clear block is clean before I go and ink it back up again. So honestly, that's beautiful right there. Let's take it up a notch and add some sweet sorbet. Again, as I said, I never know what I'm going to get, but another trick I have for you is to save those scraps. You know, we always have those scraps. So let's say I have this piece. What if I just did it here on the end, just to kind of get a feel? What do you think? If I like it, I can keep going. And if I say, not sure, I could cut that off and change the color. So this is just one of those fun, honestly, it's a very relaxing technique. And I love to just kind of keep layering colors. I think this needs one more color. How about just a little bit of gorgeous grape? Not even going to change out my cotton ball. Ooh, what do you think? And you notice with this very dark color, I'm really tapping lightly, okay? Just barely letting that cotton ball fall on my paper. That is absolutely stunning as far as a pearlescent. Look at the shine. Let me show you what this looks like on a card. Remember how I told you to just use some pieces in practice? Really, that's what I did. I just cut myself, I think that's about a 1 1/4 inch piece, and I practiced on both ends until I found the one I want. And look at that. I made a gorgeous, beautiful, soft sympathy card. And I only used a little piece, just a little 1 1/4 by 5.5 piece of that pearlescent paper. So a really great way that a little can go a long way. All right, so I've got a few blocks sitting here now. You know what? We're simply going to take these to the sink and I'm going to wash them under cold water and I'm ready to create some more. So I'll be back in just a minute. We'll do some more creating. Friends, as you know, I always have a free download that goes along with my video. Because I'm not really featuring cards on this video, I don't have a free download for you. But if you would like to see pictures of the cards or get a little more information about the things that I use today, head over to simplysimplestamping.com. Check it out. Just look for the February 14th, 2023 blog post. That's where I'll have all this information. Now, let's go back and learn some more technique, shall we? Have you seen the fine shimmer paper in the January through April catalog? Ooh, this is so pretty. It comes in 3 colors. I've got the Fresh Freesia here. But what if we wanted to take it up a notch? What if we wanted to marbleize it? We're going to polish stone it is what we're going to do. So I'm going to come back in with Gorgeous Grape. You could pick your favorite color. But just look what happens when I tap this Gorgeous Grape in this polished stone technique on this paper. Now, right now it's wet, so it's a little hard to see, but guess what? I have one that's dry, and it was a little focal image that I was going to add to a card. Let me show you. And the amount that you use is entirely up to you. You can see I went a little bit heavier on my little sample piece here. Here it's very subtle, and it's got a nice little marbled look. So it's a great way to take this cardstock, this shimmer cardstock, and just build it and take it up a notch. I'm anxious to use that focal image on a card and put something really gorgeous in the center of that. All right, let's see what else we can do. This is the texture specialty. And let me tell you, it's going to act a lot like the shimmer. It's just got texture to it. So it's going to have a little bit of a different look as well. And even though it is beautiful on its own, and it also comes in different colors in the pack, but look what happens when we bring in the polished stone technique to kind of give it something instead of just adding color, which we can do. It's great to use your blending brushes and things like that. Maybe you're looking for something different. And I think this polished stone technique, just makes for a gorgeous, gorgeous background. Once that's dry, you could take one of your favorite dies and stamp from the middle of that. And then you've got another really great focal image for the front of a card. Moving on. And I had a lot of fun with this one. This is our linen specialty paper. So you guys have already seen the technique. I've shared it with you, but I want to show you what I was able to create. So I was kind of messing around, and I of course, did my polished stone technique on the linen paper. I stamped on it with the Memento Black, and I die cut it. This is the cup of tea die set. I thought it was really cute. Now, I want to move this piece for a second because this was my little practice piece, and I didn't stamp on it. I'm going to take this glove off for just a second because I need to show you something. I discovered a little hidden secret to the linen paper. So yes, it looks great, right? And when I was working with it, the backing paper from the linen paper actually started to lift off on me. And I thought, oh no, what do I do? My friends, it's sticky. It was sticky on the back. And that meant, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Sticks right to my paper. That's been stuck down for quite a while now, and it's not lifted. It's even got its own adhesive backing. Who knew? So there you go. That's a little bonus you get with the linen paper. I'm going to just show you this last one. This, of course, is that Specialty Designer Series paper. I simply did Melon Mambo. I just wanted to focus on one color. Of course, I could add layers of color, but it sure takes it from something which I still think is quite beautiful. But if you need to focus on a color and you want to give it a little more texture, consider the polished stone technique. Couple quick things. This rubbing alcohol I do not use for medicinal purposes. I would not use this because the ink could have gotten in there. This is strictly used in my craft room. I use rubbing alcohol quite a bit. The other great thing, that when you're all done, you can take a clean cotton ball and hey, we've got it out. Why not sanitize those clear blocks? And also, it's going to make it nice and shiny as well. We can let that dry. And now our clear blocks are nice and clean. They're sanitized. While I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and clean my space with just one clean cotton ball. Want to make sure I don't have anything on there. Yep, it was looking kind of gross, so I'm glad I did it. As I said, this rubber glove, this latex glove was a lifesaver today. Although you can tell this is what it's going to look like if you don't. This is what it looks like if you do. So let's look over those papers one more time. This was our basic white with the re-inker polished stone and with the clear block polished stone. Shimmery white. This one I used the Highland Heather and the Gorgeous Grape. We had that beautiful vellum paper, gives a really nice soft look. Remember, we also had the specialty vellum that you can create some really amazing backgrounds. I really think the pearlescent is one of my favorites. It's just so shiny. This one was a blushing bride and a gorgeous grape. There's that fine shimmer paper now that it's dry. Beautiful. There's that gorgeous linen paper. And again, with the bonus tip that it's going to stick. The textured specialty paper. Again, we've got texture and we've got a polished stone technique. And our final one, and that would be that specialty designer series paper. Any of them with the foils, you can create a great look as well. Now, I shared these two cards with you, but I want to show you very quickly what I did with these two. So this one here, I used that same technique, only I die cut myself just out of some very vanilla cardstock. I die cut a detailed die cut, and I tapped my ink on the die cut. So I focused on 2 colors of purple here and 2 colors of green here. Isn't that gorgeous? I think it came out great. Do you know I actually tried to use the technique here? It was a fail. So, hey, I'm going to share that with you. Didn't quite work as well as I wanted to when I was working with a background like that. Now, this one I thought really came out fun. Let me move this aside so you can see my background I did with just, I believe I did the shimmery white on that with a couple different shades of pinks. Same with my green. Do you see? See those great leaves? And then I just did a die cut on top. So this is one of the dies. I believe this is a Poppy Moments. And you can see that I could just take a nice die cut and go on top of a kind of a 2-tone die cut look. I thought that card just came out gorgeous. Guys, once you create all of these awesome pieces, oh my goodness, they are so much fun and so addicting. Let me tell you, you kind of just want to keep going. You can take these, you can create so many different things. You can go far beyond just a background. There you go, my friends. Cotton balls, rubbing alcohol. That's all you need. Go create some amazing cards this week featuring the polished stone technique. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you liked the video. If you did, I would love a thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you so much for that. And hey, if you haven't subscribed, why not click that subscribe button there on YouTube? We'd love to have you on the channel. I share twice a week here with you, and I'd love to have you join us. That's all for me, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make it a great week. See you next time. Bye-bye.